everyone, welcome to Ida's Tailoring. If you don't have fancy machines, this video is for you. We are gonna hem a pair of pants with a blind stitch. You cannot see anything using our domestic sewing machine only. So let's go! This is my pair of pants. My colleague pinned it for me. I can't pin my pants myself. I have to take in the waist too, but that could be for another video if you like. The first thing, of course, that I'm gonna do is to mark the length. He pinned it in 3 places. I think he pinned it a little bit slanted, but myself, I prefer my hem straight as I like the long hem look. So I'm gonna make it straight. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to open that hem. As you can see, it has an original blind stitch of a professional blind stitch machine. And this is pretty much a chain stitch, and it's very easy to open. I see people like having hard time opening that, but this is really easy. What you need to do is to find the loop. Let me see if I can show you. That thread is so thin. Okay, yeah, okay. I guess that maybe you can see it. It's just right there. There is a loop with the thread. I'm gonna pull it out from the loop, and then I'm gonna pull it. And that's it. You can open your hem this way. Sometimes you find a place that there is a double stitch, but you just do the same and you have your hem open. I'm gonna open as well the second leg, and I have my 2 legs open and I'm ready to work. But before that, I'm gonna give it a little bit of the press. You don't need to press it very well. What you need is to remove the creases a little bit of the original hem. That way you can place your pants in a more comfortable way on your table. If you have super long pants that need to be cut a lot, then you don't need to even open the hem or anything. These pants are 52% linen, so the best thing to do was to wash them before I hem it. But I always recommend the best, but I'm not that good for myself, though. I'm gonna lengthen if it shrinks. Okay, so I put it on my table and I make sure to make it very flat and nice. This way I make sure to cut the 2 legs the same length. So I'm gonna trace my first line, and if you want a straight hem, you have to make sure that your ruler is perpendicular to the creases lines at the back and at the front. And you can do all the lines now, but probably it's better just to do the 2 lines, like a one for the line of the hem and the second line for the hem that you are gonna put inside, and then cut it. And after cut it, it will be a little bit more comfortable to do the lines inside. And this is what I have. I have my pair of pants. And if you have a serger, it will be very smart for you to serge it. Doesn't matter what kind of serger do you have. But I promise you that today we are gonna use our domestic sewing machine only. This is my first sewing machine that I bought here in Canada, and with this machine I made a fashion show just 2 months after I arrived to this country. So we are going to overcast that edge, and in my machine is the stitch F, and then we are going to combine with the S1, and then we are going to make the stitch very wide, the widest we can. For overcasting, using this foot is a little bit better just because it has a hinge that helps us make the stitch a little bit more straight, and as well at the center makes the machine fit more thread, and it kind of is more beautiful. So you are going to place your fabric and you are going to make sure that it's touching the hinge, and then you are gonna just sew, and that's it. Look at that, it's looking good. In this case, because this is a linen material, this is not the more ideal for that kind of finish, but you can fold it and do a second stitch and it will look super clean. Particularly I prefer it this way because it's less bulky. You can work with the machine like this if your pants is really narrow. But in my case, I prefer to have a kind of table. And this opening of the seam is not bad at all. It provides some ease sometimes, but sometimes it's not necessary at all. But it depends. So my first step is to iron my pair of pants. There are too many ways to iron. You can just fold it in the right way and iron it on top. But I myself prefer to put it in an ironing board and go little by little, not two pieces together, just one by one. And that way I find that the ironing is way better. Then after you iron it, the magic starts. I'm gonna turn my pants inside out. That way I will work on them more comfortable. Usually that's what I do when I have to do blind stitch. Then I'm gonna fold again my hem this way, leaving about 1 centimeter, which is 3/8 of the inch, a little bit out, and I'm gonna pin it. This you are not going to iron because you don't want to press that. And then you need to try to find the best color match of thread you have. In my case, I don't have a very good thread, but I think for this video it's good because you will see what I'm doing, but it has to match. The thread has to be the same color. And I'm gonna prepare now my machine for the blind hem, which is the V stitch on my machine. And I'm gonna keep the width of the fabric in 5, and I'm gonna put the length of the stitch around 2.5. It could be a little more or a little less too. And then I'm gonna place my pants on the sewing machine. And the most important thing is that you drop the needle. If the needle is to the right, it's to the right. Oh, I lost the thread. Okay, let's do it again. You are gonna drop your needle. It's on the right. And then when the needle goes to the left, you have to make sure that the needle doesn't catch too much of the fabric. You have to catch just a tiny bit. If you catch too much, then move your pants to the left. And if you didn't catch any at all, move your pants to the right. The less you catch, the most invisible is your hem, but I like to catch a little bit. I don't know, because in my experience, sometimes it pulls the thread, so you know what I mean. You can as well regulate how much you catch just by changing the width of the stitch, or if you have this foot, is fantastic because you can open and make it smaller, and that way you can accommodate way better your fabric. Let me show you how it works. So I'm gonna put the foot and I'm gonna place my pair of pants and I'm gonna sew. So if I see, as you can see, you know, it's not catching enough, so I'm just screwing a little bit further and now it's better. So I think I can do my sewing. So either with your regular foot or this one that is special, you can do it anyways, and these are the results. This is how it looks when you fold it, and then look at the other side. Let me iron it so you can see a little bit better how these hems looks. When you iron your hems, try to go up and down, and not to the sides. And this is the result. As you can see a little bit, because I told you that in my experience it's better not to have a pull thread, but if that thread were the same color as the pants, you barely could see it. But let me show you the difference of that kind of hem with this foot. This is the way it's supposed to be. And with the blind stitch machine, as you can see, it's very fast. I can do like 5 hems in the time that I make one, and it's a little bit more invisible, but it opens very easily. And look at that, here we go. This is me. I have my pants. As you can see, you cannot see the hem, like it's just a blind hem for dress pants, and it's very nice. I like to wear very low heels and I still like the pants very long. Oh well. You see, that was easy, right? This was the method I used for years before I got my blind stitch machine. As you can see, it works really fantastically well. If you find this video useful or entertaining, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. Bye!